She wakes at 5:30 a.m., conquers a workout, and leads meetings with confidence. But at 2 a.m., she lies awake, feeling nothing but a hollow ache. This is high-functioning depression, a condition millions navigate daily, often without anyone recognizing it. High-functioning depression hides behind a mask of success. Individuals maintain careers, relationships, and social obligations while battling a persistent, draining sadness. Unlike stereotypical depression, they don't stay in bed, they excel outwardly. This paradox stems from persistent depressive disorder, or dysthymia, a chronic low-grade depression lasting at least 2 years. The tragedy is not the suffering itself, but its invisibility. These individuals have adapted, building elaborate coping mechanisms that allow them to perform, sometimes exceptionally well, while internally crumbling. They are the reliable friend, the dependable employee, the pillar of the community. Their achievements often serve as proof that they are fine, when in reality, those achievements are a fragile scaffold holding back a collapse. Perfectionism fuels high-functioning depression. A landmark study by Blatt and Zuroff identified a subtype of depression linked to self-critical perfectionism. Individuals with high standards tie their self-worth to achievement, creating a vicious cycle. Depression drains energy, but the need to maintain perfection drives overcompensation, leading to burnout and deeper depression. Research by Smith and colleagues confirmed that perfectionism is a significant risk factor for both depressive and anxiety disorders. High-functioning depressives use their achievements as proof they are okay, but internally, they experience intense shame and self-blame when they fail or perceive failure. This loop traps them in a relentless pursuit of success, masking the underlying sadness. Emotional suppression is a key survival strategy. Research by Gross and John shows that habitually inhibiting emotions leads to poorer psychological well-being and increased depressive symptoms. High-functioning individuals suppress sadness, anger, and loneliness to maintain their social facade. Over time, these emotions don't disappear. They manifest as physical symptoms like chronic headaches, gastrointestinal issues, fatigue, and muscle tension. Dr. Judith Herman described the internal conflict, the need to appear okay versus the reality of not being okay. This suppression is not deliberate deception. It is a learned response to avoid vulnerability. The body, however, keeps score, and the hidden pain eventually demands attention. High-functioning depression often goes undiagnosed because symptoms are less acute than major depression. Individuals may not cry in public, miss deadlines, or express suicidal ideation. Instead, they present as just tired, a little stressed, or a perfectionist. Research by Klein and colleagues found that dysthymia is frequently misdiagnosed or underdiagnosed. This masking is a survival strategy honed over years. Dr. Margaret Rutherford describes it as the depression that hides behind a smile. These individuals score high on conscientiousness and emotional control, making them reliable and dependable. But their suffering remains invisible, even to the most well-meaning eyes, because they have learned to hide it so effectively. Chronic depression leaves a mark on the brain. Neuroimaging studies, including a meta-analysis by Kempton and colleagues, reveal reduced hippocampal volume in individuals with depression. The hippocampus is crucial for memory and emotion regulation. This structural change may contribute to the persistent nature of dysthymia. High-functioning depressives often have lived with symptoms for so long that their brains have adapted to a low-grade depressive state. This neurobiological basis underscores that high-functioning depression is not a choice or a lack of gratitude. It is a real, physiological condition. Understanding these changes helps explain why the mask is so hard to remove without professional support. Recognizing high-functioning depression requires looking beyond the surface. Signs include persistent fatigue, low self-esteem, difficulty concentrating, and a sense of hopelessness despite external success. The key is to notice the gap between outward performance and inner experience. If you or someone you know fits this pattern, it may be time to seek help. Therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral approaches, can address perfectionism and emotional suppression. Medication may also be beneficial. The first step is acknowledging that the mask is not the real self. Breaking the cycle involves learning to accept vulnerability and seeking support without shame. If you found this valuable, consider sharing it with someone who might need to see it. Understanding high-functioning depression is the first step toward healing.